use a handle when painting models, especially little guys like this. Just because the oils from your fingers will get onto the model, and even after you're painting and everything like that, and you're trying to get into some funny areas, and you'll see a lot of people and they'll grab their model and see I'm holding like the top of his hat, and so if you're really concentrating on something in there, you don't realize how much pressure you're putting on top of there, and then when you move, you end up pulling off that little layer of paint, and it's like, oh man, and you're saying all sorts of foul words. Oh. And so, but I'm not terribly concerned with it. Your fingers would have to be really oily, or you haven't washed them, but I'm usually pretty good at keeping my hands clean. Not like I'm a neat freak or anything like that, but, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm not constantly washing my hands, or not like a germaphobe or anything like that. Not that I think, anyway. I don't know. Yes, and so my last video report, it got cut off short because for some odd reason, the camera had stopped filming. It had shut off on me, and for whatever reason, it just stopped. And so I didn't get to finish showing the what I had done for the Biotitan, as far as getting those claws prepared. And there really wasn't much more after, in fact, I'll show you here real quick. So you can see the edge of the claw here. I'm trying not to hit this little jar of water I've got going on. And so basically I tried to imitate the nub. Now this end surface here has got to be scraped down a bit, as it's a little too rounded, and the claws have a very flat kind of surface. And so, yeah, I'll be doing that. Maybe I'll do that during this video, if we've got time. If we've got time. And so we just go around and clean up our little parts of our model and try not to knock things over. Often a lot of people, when they see them filing models, always kind of keep pressure on their file as they're going back and forth on the model. But really, most times these files, they're set up to only go one way, and so really when you're applying pressure, you should only be going like so, and then lift off from the model. For anybody who didn't quite realize that one. But I think that's the point of these videos, is that kind of just ramble on. And myself, I've been gaming, well, I've been painting and gaming since 1990, and I started buying models in 90, and I was kind of doing like little dioramas with them, and I had no idea that these things were part of a game. And I had bought the early box sets of Space Marines and Squads and Orcs and Tyranids and a lot of stuff. Oh, the Chaos models. I used to really like Chaos models. A little bit of the fantasy stuff. I'm not much of a fantasy guy per se, but anyway, I was buying all this stuff and putting together dioramas, like kind of battle scenes with these little guys. And when I was a kid, I used to do the kind of stuff with my G.I. Joes and my Star Wars figures and all that stuff. As you can imagine, I mean, a guy who gets into Warhammer, we all kind of follow similar paths towards this end, or middle chapter, I suppose, not the end. I mean, it's not like this is the end goal for anybody who's kind of into any kind of nerddom or whatever the heck they call it nowadays. But anyway, so I used to buy the models, and I used to like painting them, and of course I didn't realize all the many model paints that were out there, and so I used to use a lot of testers paints, the company testers. and it's an enamel based. And so I'd only get maybe 1 or 2 models done before my brush was completely wrecked, because I didn't know, and I wasn't used to using like a thinner or a turpentine or, you know, whatever to, you know, get the paint off the brush, because the Testers is an enamel based. Most of the paints are enamel based, and enamel based paints dry pretty quickly and dry to a rock hard finish. And so it wasn't until I really started getting into model painting that I realized, holy moly, I gotta get into acrylic paints and then protect my models if I'm playing with them or whatever. And so almost a year later, I take a trip down to Florida with the family and everything, and I go to this comic book store, and or this game store, and I see this big book with the Space Marines I bought. It was the exact same cover. It had the old Mark 6 armor, and I see this big book, and it's got the same artwork on it. And I was like, what the heck is this? And it's Rogue Trader. And I thought, well, this is pretty cool. And I look, and it's got lots of nice pictures and everything like that. And, you know, it looks really interesting. And I see it's a game. And I'm like, oh, this is a game. I wonder what kind of game it's like. And so that's basically it. I just kind of started right from there. It was a game. And I was like, oh, man, I felt kind of stupid. But not really. I mean, like, you know, I didn't know no better. And so, yeah, that's basically how I got into it. And that was, well, it's 90, so it's 22 years ago that I did that faithful day. And so, here I am today, still doing it. And I also enjoyed this stuff, like the model painting and everything, because I had a talent for drawing and painting and all that, and for me it was kind of logical to get into this, because, you know, this is just another outlet for expression, to express yourself. I mean, you know, when I paint this guy up, I'm going to go completely for the High Plains Drifter, or, you know, the outlaw Josie Wales. He's gonna completely be an outlaw, an old Western outlaw. He's even got a little scarred up face and everything like that. Really nice model. I like this model. Kind of like, you know, the background for him and everything. It's really cool. Now, next question. Oh, I noticed somebody else had posted as well if these videos will be going in the vault. And I don't remember if I mentioned it in the other video, but I do not believe so. I think we'll be doing these as for general purpose, or for the general public, which will be nice, as kind of gets everybody familiar with myself and my hands, apparently. So, alright, let's glue this guy. Where's my glue? Oh, right. Okay, I'm gonna have to go steal some glue off Dan's desk. I'll be right back. Okay, so looks like I couldn't find any glue off of Dan's desk, as he wisely probably took his glue home. I was just using his glue because I couldn't find mine at the time, but I did find some crazy glue, so I should be okay now. And so the next question becomes, do I glue the arm on? I'm thinking I should just glue all those parts on, because if I don't, it'll just become too darn fiddly. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. So, when gluing little metal models, you should always, with your little X-Acto blade,